Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here this morning. Got a big show lined up. But first, let's take a look at our weather brought to you by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning. Drew Pollard and his hard-working crew taking care of our everyday comfort needs. Today, pretty comfortable, high 65, low 43. Very seasonal weather for February. The water temperature at the end of the pier is right at 59.6, so we're going to round it up to 60 degrees. And again, that's pretty normal right now. Today's February 20th. I was looking at the calendar, and if you're like me, you sort of look ahead, what's next week and week after. I looked at next week, and doggone it, if March does not come in next week, I think next Thursday is March the 1st, and that's crazy. February is 1 month that, if you're like me, it just flies by. It's a short month, and a lot of stuff just flies by. Let's move on with our river reading brought to us by Panama City, Coca-Cola. The Apalachicola Brunstown this morning, a 19.4. Pretty strong drop on it. It's going to get on out of here toward the end of the week. We're going to have some drop in water, so I know you cat fishermen are tickled about that. The Choctaw at Carabelle, the Choctawhatchee at Carabelle, 8.8 this morning. And again, it's falling out on a steady drop. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. We're looking at some really strong tides today, tomorrow, next couple of days. Now look at next week, we don't have much tidal flow at all. So this is going to be a good week for you to sort of get out and do some bait fishing, really strong tides. We've got a full moon coming up Friday, so all kind of interesting things. And you talk to any outdoorsman over and over again, we're talking about the moon, and a lot of guys, hunters and fishermen, are going to base it on what that moon is doing. And here we are, some really good tides before the moon. Okay, the wind coming today, just not bad, coming out of west at about 8. Let's take a break, we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I sort of sit here and want to talk to you a minute about, we're in a change of seasons. Hunting season is wrapping up, and here we are. Fishing season is right around the corner. It's sort of in between. To me, this has always been a special time of the year in February because of that. It's a time of reflection and a time of anticipation. And I've always taken that seriously, and I always reflect back on the season and all, and then I anticipated, when we're going to start going fishing and all. I know people fish year-round now, but in general, I do a lot more fishing in the spring and summer than I do in the wintertime. And I wrote down some notes last night. I wasn't feeling nostalgic. I just felt in a reflective mood. And hunting, let's talk about the reflection back on hunting season. Here's some things I talked about. Looking at times you went, and the times you didn't go. And what's interesting now, you can do that because of your camera. Of course, when you go, you know what you see, but the times you didn't go, what was there? And the cameras have revolutionized this time, and I look back, I was 3 different times. I shared it with Jeff. I was sitting here getting ready to do the show, doing the show, and Big Buck walked out 3 different times where I would have been there. So the Panhandle Outdoors cost me a couple of nice bucks. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about during the rut, it just exactly where I knew where it was going to be, and sure enough. And also, what worked and what didn't work. Was your camera in the right place? Was that trail in the right place? Was you standing in the right place? And every year, I make adjustments. I move stuff around. So I'm going to move my blind a little bit west of where it is right now. Also, what I need to do this summer and what I need to plan. And the last thing, I always write this down. You always, at the end of hunting season, always clean out your truck. Now, mine's not near as messy as it used to be. It's a newer truck, and back when I had the old trucks, I didn't really, during hunting season, I wasn't really good about keeping it clean. So, but also wrote down, I put an asterisk by this, rest. Now, I didn't hunt that hard this year, so I'm not resting. But if you hunt hard, or say, well, we're going to have Ken Paramore tomorrow. I know he hunted hard, so you got a little period to just rest. Now, anticipation, the anticipation list I made, the first thing I wrote down, what's biting, and we're talking about Spanish mackerel, the 3rd fog in March. We always talk about that, so and that's going to be always fun, anticipating. The river's going to be getting right. It's dropping out now. as water temperatures are going to start warming up. It's going to be good catfishing coming up this weekend with the river dropping like this. All kind of anticipation we have as far as getting ready for the fishing season. Then you start thinking about getting ready. Well, you start checking your gear. I got my little tackle area up there, and I looked out last night. I walked out to it and just started looking around and started just saying, yeah, I need to get this and get that. So just anticipation of getting everything ready. Your tackle box, double check your tackle box, salt water and fresh water. Make sure you got everything in there. Wrote down boat. Make sure if you cranked up your boat and all, and also wrote down trailer. Your trailer tires, and every year you got to check that. A lot of times it'll sit up a while, and especially if it's an older trailer. So your boat and trailer, make sure you check those. And then I wrote down a calendar. You look at your calendar, and what I do, I think about next month or two when I can take short trips or we're going to take long trips. When a long trip being all day or overnight or something, and then the short trips, just a lot of those are spontaneous. But I look at a tide chart and I look at my calendar. Unfortunately, my calendar stays more full than I want it to be at this point in time in my life. But that's just the way it is now. But I try to cover a lot of bases and get a lot of things done. But you looking at the calendar, you look at the moon chart, look at the tide chart, and start really piecing things together. You think about way down in May, about the full moon, all the way up there. And then when you're going to start fly fishing in April, and there's so much to do. And that's part of my anticipation. And then I always try to think about this fishing season. I want to make a couple of special trips. Someone that doesn't fish much, or take someone out, an older person out, or a younger person. Especially want to do some fishing with my family at different times. And you want to go when they're biting, like the Spanish mackerel. You want to go when the Spanish mackerel are moving. So that's going to be a couple of weeks. Kids love Spanish mackerel fishing, and also kids love catching fish on pretty steady, and they get bored pretty quick. So keep that in mind. So anyway, that's the spirit of reflection and anticipation that I've had the last couple of days as we're getting ready to do things like this in February. I just want to spend some time sharing that with you because I know a lot of y'all go through the same things. So anyway, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's get into some pictures. It's amazing. I hadn't not meant to take the whole segment up just talking, but I just wanted to make sure we covered everything. So here we go. Here was Jeff Steele sent this. It's back on Valentine's Day. Jeff's a good hunter. Happy Valentine's Day to me. Good job, Jeff Steele. Nice buck there, here locally in Bay County. Braden Harris he said he finally knocked one down. Braden's been hunting hard this year. Young man, he loves to hunt fish, and he and Michael are part of they run Seasons of Hope, but they're also a big part of our show. They're always contributing to that. And good job, Braden. He's growing up fast. All right, here we go. Good morning, Coach Chester. I got this nice 8-point at our farm in Eufaula, Alabama, Saturday morning, the last day of the season up in Alabama. Check out this spot that walked out soon after I made the shot. This shows the deer really doesn't pay any attention to the gunshots. Thanks, Levi, Bubba Phillips. And here's what he's talking about. He got this nice buck right here, okay? And then before we can get there, he's just sitting there a little while. That little spike over here walks out. And he said, I know what he's saying. I told you not to go there now. But anyway, that is interesting because that gunshot didn't scare that buck. Okay, I got this. This is coming up this weekend, Saturday, February 24th. It's a charity fish fry at the Weewaw Wiggler Bait and Tackle. A grand opening there, and $10 a plate. And the proceeds are going to a local family battling stage 4 cancer. So come out and enjoy some really good food, fun, friends, and lots of things. If you haven't been to Weewaw Wiggler Bait and Tackle, you owe it to yourself, and that's a great time to go down there, 11 a.m. Until, and I'd like to say I'll make it if I can clear my calendar, but raffle baskets and all. So thank you all for putting that on. Tess Randall Jolly, this is interesting because she observes, she's out in nature all the time and living a good life before the rigors of spring nesting season. This is interesting now. The hens are snipping the tree buds and preening while the boys entertain below. Okay, that tree is full of hens, okay, see them all up there? And on the bottom, on the ground there, are the boys. see all the beards and all the big fans. So you learn things like that by being out in nature. That's really good. Thanks, Tess. I haven't shown any do-it-yourself deer blinds lately, but I cracked up when I saw this. Anyway, I'm not sure where it is, but this guy said it's in his county, so I don't even have any comment on that. I just don't have any comment on it. It's entertaining. Okay. Now this was someone was talking about this. Somebody's cell phone towers. You hear so much, but anyway, zoom in and read what the tag on the pole says, because outdoorsmen, we need to know this kind of stuff. And the warning now says this is a 5G small cell tower. The signals emitted by this tower are damaging to humans, animals, and plants. And it goes on. So, you know, I don't know much about this. So, you see the exposure can cause all kind of things. And so I went to Google to just try to figure this out because I've heard pros and cons. And then there's so much information out there. Google says the cell phone towers pose a health risk. And they say in the blue right there, energy from cell phone tower antennas is too low to cause health risk as long as people do not come into close contact. But it is there. And you know, did the cell phone company put out the information there? You just don't know what to believe in all. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you because it's one of those situations where you just don't know what to believe. So personally, I'm not going to try to get too close to them and camp out or anything. But anyway, as outdoorsmen, we need to be aware of that because they're popping. They're all over the place. As are the solar farms, and that's another story. Okay, next I want to get into Eden State Park. Let me see. Before I get into that, I want to share something with you. Let's go and do this. This is one of our viewers here. Good morning. I made many trips to Eden State Park. However, a few days ago, taking in the sights, we came across this unbelievable feat of nature. Staff had cleared this area out and exposed nature at its best. Have you seen such a spectacular nature event before? Jerry Holman up in Sunny Hill. So let me see. It's this picture of this tree, and at first I couldn't, with the shadows and all, I didn't know what I was talking about. Here it is. This is a tree. This is a hybrid tree. That's a pine on the left and then an oak. And look, you follow it on up the tree. It goes on up there, wraps around. Look at there. It goes on, it wraps around. See it coming out on the left there. Look at that. Okay, I'm gonna go back down to the root of it. Let's go all the way back down to the root of it. And this is what it's talking about. I've never seen that either, Jerry. I appreciate you sharing it with us. Okay, so basically you have two trees that's growing side by side. See the space in between? And somehow they merge. They merge together. It's crazy. And then I've never seen that. Then they grow up, then they wrap back around, then they separate. Isn't it amazing what you see in the state parks? Thank you, Jerry Holman, for sharing that with us. When you see something like that, you certainly want to share it. So I love Eden Garden State Park. The only times I really go over there much, they have a lot of weddings. It's a beautiful wedding venue, and it's a great location. I was looking up the locations of all the state parks over there, and we have a bunch of them. So I want to, in fact, right here. Here's all the parks over here in South Walton. Is that not okay? We'll start from way up top, left-hand corner. I've camped out way back in the day at Rocky Bayou State Park, and then from left to right, Topsail Hill, and then Grayton Beach, Eden, and Deer Lake. And we, of course, had folks on from Deer Lake. So that is so neat, and all that populated area to have 4 state parks, actually 5, but 4 down there on the beach. But Eden Gardens, this is the entrance to it. It's just a beautiful place. And I just want to show you a couple of quick pictures. I went on their website and found it's 163 acres. And what it was an old homestead. I knew that the history behind it was a lumber company, the Wesley family. I'd known this history. I looked up the history years ago. And they came in there and clear cut all those big trees and all. And they were able to get those trees out in the Choctaw Bay and, of course, float them on out of there. And back before, in fact, I had a uncle back when he was a young man. He logged some of that and hit some of those sawmills, and they cut them up, and they didn't truck them out. They put them on barges and headed them out. That's the history. And the Wesley family lady bought that old mansion and actually ended up spending millions of dollars to put it back. Here's the, let's see, here's the house here. This is where they have all the weddings. I'm going to show you the houses real quick because it's just worth a look. And the state has done such a remarkable job. Is that not beautiful? I mean, that's right here in our backyard. And you see, we want to have so many weddings there. And a lot of them under that tree, right there on that tree and out. Here's the backside where the water, they were able to, I mean, look at that marsh. Isn't that beautiful? And they keep the water circulating here. Here's the inside of it. This is 1700s of the furniture. And I don't know if this is original or they brought it in, but anyway, it's restored back to that area. And it was Tucker Bayou. See where they would be able to take the lumber out on the barges and get it out there to the water, and that's the history of the longleaf pine industry. Okay, so that's Eden State Park. Give it a chance to go over there, have a picnic or something, and just walk around and see something like Jerry Holman did. I just thought that was so fascinating, Jerry. Thank you for sending that to us. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outrigger. We're looking at 8:06 to 10:06 this morning, and this evening from 8:32 to 10:32. And I wrote down, put an asterisk by it, fish now. This is just a great week to go fishing. Everything's sort of lining up the next couple of days. I want to share something with you. It has absolutely nothing to do with outdoors. It's just a little part of my personal life as a coach. I want to share with you. And Mosley High School this past Saturday honored the top female athletes in the last 50 years, and it was something I was part of. And I coached girls sports there in the 70s, 80s, 90s, in 2000, well, 4 or 5 different decades. I was coaching with some of the coaching a lot of girls sports and basketball and track. My daughter played, and we just had a wonderful time. And I appreciate the Alumni Association putting together a little 50-year celebration of them. So I took some pictures and all. It was a very special day to me. I got to see so many young ladies who are now women with children, and one girl flew in from Syracuse, New York, Cynthia Britt. One of my tracksters flew in from Washington, D.C. She's been a career up there. North Carolina flew in from Atlanta. They flew in from, came up from Ocala. They came from all over. The girls, I appreciate honoring the girls because in those days we were honestly second-class citizens in the athletic world, and we fought our way through it, and we had a remarkable bond because of the things we had to go through, and I fought for them, and and they were going to make us practice after the boys, and I said, no, we're going to practice. I could tell stories. But anyway, I'm just going to show you some pictures. Here we are right here. This is at the gym at Mosley, and all different, for 50 years. And I coach a lot of these. I didn't coach all of them. These are tennis players. These are, I had a track and basketball girls. So it was just, here's a little clip of Saturday afternoon in the gym. I appreciate them taking time. A lot of folks came to it, and they were right here. Oh, that's cool. And the cheerleaders, they were singing the alma mater, the young cheerleaders here, and there was just a special day. So I'm gonna just show you a couple of pictures real quick. There we go. So here we go. This young lady here, she ran track for me. She lives in North Carolina now. She has 3 boys, Elise Trexler, and she and her husband are doing well. I love seeing her. I've seen her a long time. 3rd in the state, got a full ride athletic scholarship to high jump at University of North Florida. Cynthia Britt, high school All-American. She flew down from, in 1987, high school All-American. Flew down from Syracuse, and Eileen Harvest on the left there played basketball, a full ride to play basketball at Florida State. And here are the girls here, the name of the half-century team, and great job. A lot of the coaches got together, nominated them. Okay, so that was basically it. I just wanted to share that with you. Wait, I want to show you one more. This is Dee Bird. They were interviewing her on Channel 7, and she broke down and started crying. And her dad had passed away before the season, and she said, she compliment. I was sort of like her, stepped in for her dad. And here's a picture. Wendy was there, one of her classmates, and then Gail and one of our Bob Thomas's daughter. They live up in North Georgia now. So anyway, it's great. Something like that is just special to them. I want to share it with you. That's why people say, how'd you get named coach? Well, that's coaching all those sports. I coached a lot of boys sports, football and basketball and track with the boys. But anyway, it's just good, once in a lifetime to see that many. We'll probably never get together again like that, but it was special. I wanted to share that with you because a lot of y'all ask about that. So anyway, let's get back to outdoor stuff. We're talking about different things. I have this. I wrote this down back when I started the show. This list right here, it's a yearly list, but I didn't start in January, and that's why I want to start now and share it with you. I still have it. I always start this up here in March. Okay, in March. Okay, this is what I concentrate on each month. In March, this is the highlight of March. We just talked about Spanish coming in on third fog. April, I wrote down pompano. May, brim and shellcracker. A lot of great freshwater fishing in May. This is just my personal feelings on all this. June, and one thing, at the top of the list, red snapper. Red snapper opens up the first Saturday of June, and we're going to be there. July, I used to be scalloping, but they've changed the date, but July is still my scalloping month, but really it's not open to August, so I might have to, I don't know what I'm going to do about July, maybe crab or something. August is a great month for king mackerel, always has been. September, the redfish really kicks off. October, grouper fishing in October. There's some really good grouper fishing in October. November, Thanksgiving, I always think about squirrel hunting and duck hunting in November. And then December gets cold, speckled trout. Some big speckled trout over the years have been caught in December. Not as much now because a lot of big ones aren't out there, but you can catch them in some odd places. Greg Brudnick caught a 10-pounder in a canal in the 80s. January, I wrote down big buck, because when the bucks are in a rut. And February, sheepshead and quail. So now, is that not a great outdoor calendar? Is that, you see now why we can do a TV show in the outdoors year round, because something always going on. So we're looking at March, getting ready for mackerel. We're going to do a little show on it pretty soon. It's a simple way to fish it. Pier fishing all along on this pier fishing is good. Bridge fishing is going to be good. When I wrote down sheephead in February, having a picture have I shown the month of February already of sheephead being caught from all the way down to Carabel, all the way up here to the Jockatahatchee Bay. So it's been really good. So there's always something to do in each month of the year. These are just my personal highlights, but they pretty well, that's sort of what's biting and what's going on at that time, according to the weather and according to the moon and all kinds of different things like that. But I really look forward to each month. And I'm talking about making out your calendar. I'm thinking in the back of my mind as I'm looking at my calendar, especially like, snapper season. We've already got that date down, June the 1st. Ironically, the first Saturday this year is on June the 1st. It's always it's going to open up the opening day and the first Saturday is always going to be, that's when we always go with Billy Arthur. So June the 1st, okay, and then grouper, it's a hit and miss as far as the season, so we'll get together on that. I got to wrap it up for today. Tomorrow, I have a guest. Ken Paramore's coming in tomorrow. He's had a really good year in the woods. He's going to share that with us. So let's make sure you do something good for your fellow man. Have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.